Good morning, good afternoon, everyone across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is another edition of Climate Wednesday, and I'm very happy to be here again with you all. And I want to say thank you to everybody that joined us in one or two way last week to also join us for the new edition of the ESG Climate Justice conversation we've started this month. And I was very happy because a lot of people have been asking us that what is this ESG? And a lot of people are also asking that how is it related to climate justice and other related environmental justice issue. But today we have a very passionate, dedicated, and committed brother from a very well background. If I can tell you, master's PhD. He has even read every other book all over the world, and I think somebody that is going to be able to explain and shed more light to us on the issue of ESG and climate justice. So today we're going to be looking at ESG reporting towards strengthening climate justice. What companies are doing when it comes to their CSR. How are we really responding to the climate justice that we are talking about? And how can we make government accountable, companies accountable, socially, governance, and what have you? And last week, you've already heard about some scenarios, some stories that Mayoko shared with us. But today, as we are starting the second week of our conversation on this new Climate Wednesday series, I will be introducing you to our speaker, Similade ADEODUN. Yes, I think I get the name. He's going to be sharing with us today, and I'm very happy that he's going to join us and shed more light on how we can actually start reporting towards strengthening climate justice. And I'm very sure that a lot of you will be able to see some of the case studies, some of experience, some of story that's going to be sharing with us from wealth of knowledge that is going to be telling us today. And I also want you to know that this call is already streamed live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can join us. You can watch from anywhere you want to watch. And if you are not able to join us now, you can still join us some other time, or you can watch this call again on all our social media platforms. So I'm very happy because a lot of people have been giving us feedback on the kind of conversation we have been having, and that is why we are also bringing this one to your uh, uh, call today. So today I will be speaking with us guest, and it's going to be telling us more about ESG reporting towards strengthening climate justice. So let me bring him on board to join us. Hi, Mr. Similade. Good afternoon. Hello, are you there, Mr. Similade? Hello. You need to unmute your mic so that we can hear you. Hello. I'm sure this is one of the issue that we are
Can you
having
hear
in
me?
this. Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you very much for joining us again on Climate Wednesday as we're having this robust conversation with
It's a
every
pleasure.
other. Yeah, thank you so much. So, to kickstart our conversation, like I said, can you please tell us about yourself, what you do, and what actually inspired you to do what you are doing?
Okay. My name is Similade ADEODUN. I'm a water and environment consultant. I'm a doctoral researcher, and I'm an SDG enthusiast and an actor in the field too. I've been in the field for say 11 years now, and I am a passionate professional in the aspect of water treatment, wastewater treatment, EIA, sustainability reporting.
Wow,
Let
thank
me
you
keep it
very much.
short that way.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Viewers, when I said we have somebody that is well packaged, knowledgeable, that understand the problem and understand the solution. So today, as we move on in this conversation, Mr. Similade will be sharing with us a very important conversation that you need to also listen and hear. So, Mr. Similade, thank you very much for coming to us and giving us your time today. So, sir, can you tell us what is your understanding of ESG reporting? How do you explain that to people? Your understanding. Hello, Mr. Similade, are you there?
Okay, can you
Uh,
please repeat the question? I didn't get that.
I said, what is your understanding of ESG reporting? What do you understand by ESG reporting? ESG itself, yeah. I think we're having a very internet problem with Mr. Similade. Hello, Mr. Similade, are you still there?
Yes, I am here. Now I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you please repeat the question again?
The question was, what is your understanding about the ESG? That's environment, social, and governance. What do you understand about that? And when relating to reporting system. Hello, Mr. Similade, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you. But the network, I don't know whether it's my own end. It kept
I
on
think
skipping. Like
I think it's from your end.
I
The question
I
was,
don't know whether you're hearing me very well.
I can hear you. I can hear you very well. I can hear you. What I'm saying is, what is your
Oh, okay.
understanding about ESG? What is your understanding around ESG?
Okay. What do I understand about ESG? Is that the question?
Yes, 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 that's the question.
Ah, okay, great. All right. Thank you. Okay, okay. All right. So ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance reporting. Um, it's a new trend, well, not so new, really, but new in our own climb that companies now engage in to um, allay the fears of investors and partners, and then for them to see how responsible the company or the corporation is in terms of having a green footprint, and as well as being a responsible company that usually will have low risk and assured return on investment. So it's a tool where that companies have you know, gone into, like, are using now to report how well they are doing, how good they are doing in terms of their environmental footprints and their CSR, corporate social responsibility, as well as how they manage their staff, how they consume, and how they manage resources within the cycle. So this, when you put this report together, and an investor comes into your company to wants to know about your company, you don't beat about the bush, or you don't start looking for lies. Just present your ESG reports of, say, the previous year, and if this person can go through it, it can give them a level of assurance that, oh, your company is doing well or not. So it's a tool to measure, number one, our own how responsible we are as a company, how responsible we are, and then also to give a level of assurance to whoever wants to come into the company, either as partners or investor.
Wow, thank you very much. That is, I think that's very similar to what our last speaker last week also shared with us, and I think you also bring more concept into it by explaining to us the main importance of the ESG actually. So thank you very much for that, and I'm very happy that you have more understanding on this topic because we're actually looking for somebody that can enlighten the populace, like the population of people that don't really understand what ESG reporting is all about. Let me move to the second question from our people. Understanding the importance of climate justice. how can ESG reporting be used to strengthen it? You've already mentioned about they use it to understand their environmental reporting, environmental stuff. So understanding this, the importance of climate justice to people and to the livelihood, how can ESG reporting be used to strengthen it? You have the floor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, like I said earlier, I mentioned that there is an environmental aspect of ESG, there's social and the governance. Now, in reporting ESG, there are metrics or there are conditions, or shall I say, guidelines that you follow to report your activities. And these guidelines, these metrics, or these pointers would help you to measure if you are doing well in aspect of combating climate change. Now, I'll break this down into two. It is one thing to have climate action in your company, like to have sustainability in your infused into your activity. And it's another thing to have climate justice, being achieved or being pursued as a thing. So climate action is not necessarily climate justice. They are not really synonymous. Climate action can be as simple as you investing in Tesla automobile that runs on energy, But can that work in Nigeria? It can't work in Nigeria because currently now, even the energy to power our homes is not even sufficient. You understand? Not to talk of you now having, to charge your car, you have charging points everywhere. So even though that system is climate action, when you're looking at the aspect of climate justice in Nigeria, in African nation, sub-Saharan, that is not climate justice because it is useless to us. Imagine pumping a lot of climate carbon fund, into that and not investing in anything that will benefit people in a larger community, for instance, or people in Lekki that are experiencing flooding, or even people up north in maybe in Sokoto that are going through drought and all sort of environmental and climate injustice. So bringing it down to the concept of ESG is that a company should be able to factor in their sustainability plan and then their environmental impacts, so to say, such that it will bring in equity, it will bring in women, it will bring in youth, it will bring in children, it will bring in community engagement. So if you are reporting your ESG and you're not biased, anybody can pick it up. Mr. Olumide Idowu can pick it up and look at it that, let me look at your ESG. And one of the things he's looking at for as a Nigerian is, how does this benefit my people? How does this, your ESG, come in? You are a Chevron in Nigeria, operating in Chevron, but your principles and your procedures are based on what is obtainable in USA. You are not achieving climate justice. So reporting it is a thing that will help us to be able to, if achieving climate justice. So it's a good thing to start it, to have it as a company. So, but another advice or admonition that I will give out there for companies is that as you are reporting your ESG, don't just look at the environmental component, your waste management, your car to bus or carpooling alone. Look at how it will benefit, these plans, how it will benefit the people around you, and then it will help to reduce the disaster risk around them as far as climate change is concerned. And then you can then achieve more climate justice. So ESG can help us to assess if your activities are really achieving climate justice. To answer in short, thank you.
Wow, I think I don't need to say much about what you just said because this is something that I think is very, very important for businesses, companies, organizations to understand And it's also very important that ESG processing and reporting is one of the key ways for you to assess your organization or your company. But that's actually supposed to take me to the next question. But I think you've actually highlighted some of it. But let me just ask for the sake of people that did not really grab what you just mentioned. Are organizations or governments currently practicing this, or what you just said? Are they really practicing it? And if they are not practicing it, and if it is yes, can you tell us some and how it has impacted the climate justice or the climate action that we have been talking about for the past many years, decades, especially in a country like Nigeria, that we always shout climate justice, climate action, environmental justice. Can you share with us? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, I can say that there are some companies that are practicing it, that are using the tool already. But most of these companies are multinational. Sadly, most of our indigenous companies are still yet to tap into this because when it is not enforced, in Nigeria, and when it is not part of requirements like tax clearance or like ITF clearance that you can use to get grants and use to win government contracts, we really don't care so much. But when we look beyond that, when we begin to look at investors investing in our company, and then we having a track record of being a responsible company, we begin to go into it. Just like I mentioned, companies like Chevron, like I said earlier, Unilever, they have Coca-Cola. I know about Coca-Cola very well. I even know the person that does their ESG for them. One of the persons are in their department. I don't know if it's allowed for me to mention these companies' names. Is it allowed?
Yeah, for me, I just felt that this is also going to prompt a lot of people to understand that what these companies are doing, they need to do better and they need to step forward and do something. So mentioning their name here is not that a big deal, but you can just, that's why we said, do you know any government or any company that is actually using this ESG reporting, and how far are they using it? Are they using it in the right way, or they need to do more? That's why we're, so you're free.
Okay. All right. So thank you. So yes, so the companies like I've mentioned, I know about them that they have sustainability reporting factor into the activities. I I even know a couple of some NGOs that are also doing this. Now, the approach, definitely we are growing. To be honest, we are not there yet. Yeah, where we report now, of course, is not up there yet, but when we are gradually getting there. So we really can't compare with the multinational when you look at the local content. And how they go about it and get these materials are completely on their own parts. It's to their own discretion, because there are no standard should I say guidelines yet for like EA now, we have at least that is standardized already.
Hello, Mr. Similade. You are really breaking. I think maybe the internet is very,
But
very low on your side.
ESG,
Hello, Mr. Similade.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, your network
Can you hear me
was
now?
little. Yeah, we can hear you now. You can go on.
Wow, okay. Sorry, okay, sorry about that. So yeah, so like I was saying, so those companies, yes, even though they are doing it, but the procedure or the guidelines are actually more of adopted guidelines, because guidelines for ESG are not yet domesticated, so to say. So they are more of getting from maybe from other countries, even South Africa, but locally, we've not really adopted that and then passed that. Unlike EIA, that is standardized already, and then you can easily get guidelines. So they are doing it out of their own, goodwill and getting materials as sourcing materials outside. So is it affecting climate? Is it achieving climate justice? Yeah, in their own little ways, they are really achieving climate justice. Some might be biased. I think that's next. Maybe that's the next discussion, but don't let me go into that now. But some might be biased when it comes to reporting this, and some can be really truthful about it. For instance, some might report that they have maybe they generate some maybe about energy or about this or about that, but when you get to the place or to their companies, you see that they just have the structure, but they are not really generating that. I hope you understand that aspect. So, in terms of climate justice, they can also claim figures and claim, values or something like that that they have done, things that they have done. So,
Mr. Similade, I think your network has just gone again. I think what Mr. Similade is actually explaining to us is the importance of these people doing more. That most of their plans or most of the action they are doing towards ESG is actually not very detailed. So, Mr. Similade, are you back? Yeah, your mic. You have to unmute your
yes,
mic.
I'm back. Yes, sorry. Okay, I've done that. Yeah, you're muted. You're muted. I
I
didn't
said
get the
maybe
question.
maybe you should conclude these questions and we move on. The one you are just the last one you're talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah. Okay, so the conclusion is that in their report they might mention some climate actions and but how do we measure the impact, the real thing they report in their reports and on the field? But beyond that, the fact that they are even reporting can spur and encourage some other organizations to also imbibe and get into this. So in a way, it's an advocacy. So it's still good. It's better than not doing it at all. So if I'm to rate them, I would say kudos to them for not even not being enforced and still doing it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Similade. I just want to use this opportunity to say that if you are watching us anywhere across the world, this Climate Wednesday for you today, and we are discussing today ESG reporting towards strengthening climate justice. And our guest and lovely speaker today is Mr. Similade ADEODUN. He has been sharing with us very key importance of the ESG reporting. And as you all know, he has mentioned some little companies. And not that we are mentioning this company, but we are trying to give example of how they are also reporting and making sure that their reporting is also reflecting what they are doing. So if you're watching from anywhere, you can watch on our YouTube, on our Twitter, and our Facebook, and we make sure that you get more information as we go on. And don't forget, if you miss this call, you can still watch it again. It's live call that we are having now. So thank you very much, Mr. Simida. Actually, it looks as if you've stolen all the questions from us. Your response are very important. So the ESG reporting, talking about the environment, the social and the governance, I think it's very important for us to also look at the governance part of it. And I think is one of the key components which you think. So when it comes to investment, I don't know, maybe I should understanding the ESG facility investment. How can you prevent falsified statements within the reports? Like what you said from your the response you give the other time. Most of us we have to just request for this document, but how do we now understand those statements in those reports? And are there organizations, maybe now you might not mention these organizations now, that we need to to hold them accountable, because most of what they are doing, most of their reporting is not actually reflecting what they say the kind of facility investment they are doing. So what understanding of the ESG facility investment do you think they need to be conscious of when they are reporting their ESG activities? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, there are some that I believe are not truthful with their reports. Like I said earlier, at least I have been to a facility that claimed to be generating biogas for their energy. And then they say they really actually have a gas plant. Their generator is one of their generator is powered by gas, but the gas is not from the methane from their power gas. They are buying LPG, they are buying normal gas that me and you are buying, sir. So but in their report they say that this is from their power gas that they generate this. That's one of these lies that we talk about. And then they go as far as calculating the carbon footprint of let me say, yeah, the carbon footprint of the gas from when you purchase gas, and then offset that with their own methane that is generated from their biogas, and they will be able to calculate how much waste they've been able to save, how much greenhouse gas they've been able to save, and all these things. So putting together and then putting out there a huge carbon footprint. Meanwhile, these are all lies, So that can actually that's fraudulent. Let me put it that way. What it is, that's fraudulent. And investors come in and then say this and then believe you and then put in their money. Now the risk of that, if you or anybody is listening and then you know someone or any organization that is doing that, the risk of that is if you are caught by one of these investors or someone that is just someone that is just an environmentalist that just wants to report things and then just want to ask questions why or what, and your story goes online there, it can ruin the reputation of the company. So in as much as you're trying to put out a very nice image of yourself, doctoring your reports and putting lies out there, putting even for the social aspects, it's very dangerous. So are there organizations in Nigeria that are regulating stuff like this? Well, none that I know of yet, actually. So because it has not been standardized, so it is not something that is you are legally required to do. So it is not a legal obligation now. So it's more of social obligation, not even a fiscal obligation. So companies that are doing it out of goodwill and then for their own image and for their own. So there are no, except let me give an example of international organizations that I can't remember one of, if I can remember the name of. Okay, let me use Climate Wednesday as an example. Climate Wednesday can take up something like that and decide to say, okay, we want to look into the companies that does this, but you really can't enforce. So it will be more of, okay, we want to see what you do, and then if they're not really allowing you to come in, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's skewed really now towards just social goods. So we really can't enforce and we really can't judge anybody or catch them now. Thank you.
Wow. That is very, very important. Like you said, we just need to keep saying it, keep talking, keep advocating for a report that is going to reflect on ground actually. And that's one actually takes me to, you are eating deep into the to the next question. What are the current limitations preventing organization from reporting? Do you think there is a policy or there is a law or there's something that is limiting them actually not to actually report the right thing? Or is it being that they are selfish with their act, or they just want to make money and just move on without doing something for livelihood for people?
Okay, so let me be sincere. This is not let me say unique to Nigeria alone. This is global now. Companies are international, multinational companies even lie. I've seen some that I know of. I know of a company. It's a multinational company that they are not even in Nigeria. They're just coming to Nigeria to do one or two things. They give bribe. Like,
Wow.
no, not the AFCC. Take 'em. But they understand these things. They are the one that invented all these things. So they understand how it works and all this. So yes, like I said earlier, if there are no institutions to guide against falsifying reports and lines and regulating and all these things, lying, I mean, false reports will be there. That's a thing. Number one. Number two is that the limitations. Number one is that because there are no guidelines and there are no standard procedures for carrying out ESG in Nigeria currently. So that's a thing to start with. So you don't really have resources to carry it out. Number one. Number two is that even when you are now, maybe you're thinking of, oh, let me get resources, let me get materials from my friend in Newark or my friend in Poland or in South Africa to use for my own company's ESG reports. You see that some of the things that are in their own requirements are not obtainable in your own country, and then it will
Yeah,
limit how you will be able to report it. Yeah, so I'll be able to report it. I once tried this when we were involved in one EIA review act in 2017. I tried to bring in foreign EIA act. It wasn't working. Like a lot of things contradicted themselves, and just had to let it go. So the same thing is applicable. That's number two. Number three is also awareness. It's a limitation. People are not aware of this thing and then the importance. So a lot of people still don't see it. Business in Nigeria is still we still practice business the old way, like you put out your adverts there, you use comedians to advertise your company. You even have a lot of online comedians now. They call themselves, is it online the comedians they call themselves, and influencers. You use these
yes,
guys to advertise your companies, and
skits.
and then to get traffic, skits and all that, to get traffic and all that. So we are still much more into all these things. We still practice our things this way, and that's why it's still not. In fact, you see that they would rather sponsor maybe a dance show, a reality show, and stuff like this. They pump the money they should use for this kind of reporting into stuff like that, because that's what get attention and get patronage and bring people. Meanwhile, in some other clients, you see that a client will go into a mall to buy products and will ask you that, oh, this product, let me see, what is your
Our speaker is
carbon
trying to okay.
footprint. They want to check
Okay.
carbon fine, so to say. Oh, okay. So they check out some people, some clients on their own check this thing. In fact, you see some adverts online in those clients that they will say ways to save the environment. Do not buy products that are produced with so thing, or that are from this thing. Do not buy this, do not buy that. And then this thing gets into their head. So it gets into their head. So you as a company, you want to be careful. You want to be careful not to have those things in your products. You want to be careful not to have those impacts, because you want to sell. That's the end point. And then you now know that the trend is changing. But in Nigeria, it is not like that. In Nigeria, you just have to come and do adverts, come and show some fine girls to dance, and just go around. In fact, you can play music, noise pollution again, and then be blasting music on the streets, have street dancers, and then you are selling your product. So these are limitations that are stopping things like ESG. It is not seen as something useful by so many people yet, because the attention is not shifting towards that. We are not seeing it from person or someone in Ogoni land, for instance. He knows that producing this thing is the reason why my water is getting polluted. We'll fight, we'll do anything possible that this thing must not come to my area. What is this? No, this thing must not come to my area. Don't produce this thing again in Nigeria. But who knows? Like, how long will this take? I believe that someday we'll get to that level with things like this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that I don't want to repeat all what you've said, but let me say that you've actually give us that sincere outputs, because most of the time a lot of people don't actually understand the reason why all this limitation is actually happening to them. And also they also don't know that as an organization, as a company, For you to actually achieve your ESG, you need to be sincere on ground, not only on paper alone. We need to see the reflection of what you're actually doing when it comes to environment, social, and governance. And thank you very much for bringing those points to our eye. So, as we are closing, if you're watching us again, our guest today is Mr. Similade ADEODUN. He has been giving us more understanding on this conversation we are having today on ESG reporting. And if you want to actually understand ESG report, this is a conversation you need to watch and watch again towards strengthening climate justice. Thank you so much, Mr. Similade, for giving us this opportunity to hear from you. So, as we are
Thank
winding up or
you.
running up, as an investor, what are some important ESG guidelines or criteria to consider within a company before investing in a company? You know, a lot of people also look at those areas before they say they want to put money into something or put money into activities. What do you think should be? So I'm using you as an investor now, advising other investors that want to actually invest in some, what are the importance of the ESG guidelines that you can share with us or criteria to consider within the company before investing actually. Thank you.
Okay. I didn't really get the last part of the question, but I got it from the beginning, so I think I can carry on. So as an investor, what are the things I should look out for? Okay, now let me assume ESG is widely practiced in Nigeria. Let me assume that. So not alien. Let me believe that we are practicing now. Like I said earlier, as an investor, one of the first things to look out for is that, oh, please, permit me to use an example. Take, for instance, in Rwanda, the use of plastic is banned. I mean, leather. You can't bring in nylon. In Kenya, they also did the same thing. I think in either Sudan, I think Sudan or Somalia, one of these two countries, also banned plastic bag. Now imagine that you now want to put your money, into that aspect. You want to invest your money.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, you've been seeing the trend that in so country it was banned, so country it was banned, so country it was banned, and now you want to put your money in that company. You are indirectly putting yourself into, I don't know, a high risk, because at any point in time, the president can just announce, the minister of environment can influence that and say we don't want plastic bags again. So now let me come back to this. So for ESG also, we want to see the process, the different processes you put your product through, the raw material, the finished product, the packaging, the activities, the things you engage yourself in. We want to see the environmental aspects of your company, the social aspects. Just a report about a company, that this company is polluting, they can lock up that company. A company was locked up in Ibadan here that produced soap recently, when they were involved with polluting the nearby water stream, and a staff, a casual staff, was killed also in that company. The company was locked. Imagine it was locked for a very long time. Imagine what they must have lost during that period. Imagine what must have happened to the ROI of the investors in that company. So by you having your in fact, not even having ESG, your investment is at risk in that company. But you not having the ESG, and these important components are not factored, are not seen. You are already seeing that putting your money into this thing, the risk that you can run into problem is high. But when you have a company that their ESG is so strong, you can see the gender equity, you can see the community engagement, you can be rest assured that there can't be any vandalism. The community youth cannot be aggrieved and come and destroy the company, because they are carried along, they are involved, and then they are benefiting from this company. They are the ones that will even protect the company. So that's an aspect. Now you're looking at safety aspect, HSC, you're looking at the environmental aspect. You are sure that the Ministry of Environment cannot just come and lock up your company. You are sure of, levies and, regulations cannot just catch up with you unnecessarily. Catch up with the company. So you are sure that this kind of company is responsible. It is responsible, and it's a company you can invest your money in. So that is, as an investor, I should ask for that. I should look into that. In absence of ESG. Do you know some investor ask for EIA reports and that environmental audits reports, ER.
Exactly, you're right.
Some in Lagos now, it's a standard for you to have, yeah, it's a standard for you to have ER reports once in 2 years in Lagos for most companies. At least I even know of a company that once wanted to engage us, but because of Lagos ways of doing things are different. LASEPA can just come with this law policy. I didn't want to get into the mess and to the trouble of that, so I had to outsource it to someone else. Of course, we still work on it together. So you understand the point now that it is a thing of you trying to sell out and sell yourself and make yourself let them see that you are responsible, you are safe, and you can be with us, you can invest with us. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Similade. This is very, very educating, and I'm very happy that we call you in a short time and you're able to answer us. And thank you so much for those important steps, those things that we need to look into, because these are the things that can actually help us to advocate for climate justice, advocate for climate action. And what you have been talking about in being an environmental sustainability, talking about conducive environment, these are the key points, key ways for us to understand that ESG standard is one of the key things that we need to be looking at. So I'm very, very happy that we're able to have you today. Like I said again, guys, if you are still watching us, this is a Climate Wednesday. My name is Olumide Idowu, and I'm very happy that today we are having this conversation on ESG reporting towards strengthening climate justice. And I'm also happy because Mr. Similade have given us some key points that we need to take back to our community, take back to our environment, to start demanding for transparency in the way they are reporting their ESG. And it's also very, very important to know that everybody needs to get involved so that we can demand for the right environment we have for ourselves, so that we can be able to differentiate between how locally climate justice is in our country, in different countries. And he has also given us example of different countries in Africa and all over the world, how they are also implementing their ESG, and how some of them are also making sure that they put more efforts in making sure that the ESG reflect what they are reporting on ground. Thank you so much, Mr. Similade. Now to my last question that we always ask our guests: what is going to be your recommendation for our listeners, or for the government, or for the people concerning this topic today? What should we be looking at in 2 sentences? Thank you.
All right, so I have two. First one is for the government. Please, this is an aspect you should look into and encourage. First, start with passive way. Don't just enforce it on people. Let's encourage people to do it willingly. Then later on, it can be enforced. Because it's an important aspect of sustainability and for us to achieve the 2030 goal. So that's that. Now for viewers, for representatives of companies or even CEOs that are watching this now, I would say that please be encouraged to do it willingly, to do it on your own as a social obligation. Not, we know that there is no law that is binding or that is enforcing anybody to do that now, but on your own. You see, environmental sustainability and climate justice is our collective rights and responsibility. So we should understand that we are not away from it, we are in it, and we have to do it together. So do your part as I do my own, as well as Climate Wednesday is doing their own. Thank you very much.
Very much, Mr. Similade, for this wonderful time. And I'm very sure that a lot of people watching us from across the world have been able to get one or two things on our edition of Climate Wednesday today. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best. As you
Thank
said, that
you.
environmental justice, climate justice should be our collective responsibility. And we need to start taking action in making sure that I do my own, you do your own, then we have environment that is more conducive and sustainable for all. Thank you, and hope to have you some other time on this show. Have a great day. Thank you so much,
You
Mr.
too. Thank
Similade.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So thank you very much, everyone. This is Climate Wednesday, and I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from what our speaker have said to us today on Climate Wednesday. He has actually opened our eyes to a lot of things concerning companies, government, and our social responsibility to the environment. So I wish you all to start taking responsibility, whether you're a company, private, any other aspect of how you are contributing. Our ESG reporting is very, very important for us because as we are calling on environmental justice, we are talking about climate justice. We need to know that our responsibility as an individual is also very important, and the way we report our ESG also important for our environment. So, guys, let's put this into practice, and we hope to continue to make our environment more sustainable. Thank you, everyone, for watching us, and we hope to have you some other time next week, where we are going to be having another speaker, another topic on the ESG and climate justice conversation. If you are missing this live conversation, you can still watch again on our YouTube, on our Facebook, and on our Twitter handle. Everything is going live streaming as we are talking, and you can still watch them again. Have a good evening and stay blessed. Bye.